Hello, and welcome to the fourth lecture in Introduction to Language and Communication. I am Marta Schroeder, and today I want to tell you a bit about animal communication. So you already know that all organisms communicate. All living creatures have a way of communicating, even bacteria. So the question is, what is the difference between how animals communicate and how humans communicate with language? Could we just say that animals have a different language? And you've seen some videos about other animal communication systems. So I want you to think about how to compare language and animal communication. And an American psychologist and researcher, David McNeil, was researching this very question, and he came up with a way of describing or classifying communication systems according to two criteria. First of all, mode, meaning the way that signals are organized in a communication system. And second of all, by function, meaning what function those signals perform. And when you think about mode or how signals are organized, according to McNeil, systems can be grading or combining. If a system is grading, that means it only really has one message. One type of signal, but you can change the meaning of this signal by producing the signal in a different way. So, for example, clapping could be a signal, but then clapping very loudly could mean one thing, and clapping very quietly could mean a different thing. The signal is the same, it's clapping, but it's changed to create new message. Other systems can be combining or combinatorial. This means that they create new messages by putting different signals together. So you could have clapping and flicking your fingers, and you could create different messages by combining the two together. So if you think about the communication systems that you learned about, you can see how that would work. Then there is the function of a communication system, and there are three possible functions. First of all, a nominal or referential system, which means signals can talk about things around you. So you can talk about something, you can communicate about something else. Or systems can be expressive. When you're not talking about something else, you're expressing a state. For example, if you're yawning, you're not talking about anything else, but you might be communicating that you are bored. Or when a baby cries, the baby might be communicating that it's feeling hungry. So messages like this are expressive. They express an internal state. And finally, systems of communication can have predicative function, which means they can talk about how something is. So you can talk about a big table and a small table, or a dangerous animal or a not dangerous animal. So thinking back to animal communication systems, you can see that animal communication can have all of these characteristics. For example, quorum sensing of bacteria, there is only one type of signal. the only one pheromone. So when there is a lot of the pheromone, it means there is a lot of bacteria. If there is very little of the pheromone, it means that there is not a lot of bacteria. So this system is grading. The message is always the same. It's the pheromone. But how much of it there is changes the meaning. And quorum sensing is also expressive, because the only message that the bacteria are conveying is basically, I'm here. They're not talking about politics or about the weather. They're only expressing the state of existence. Then if you think about prairie dogs, they have a much more complex communication system. So they can combine different signals. They have different signals that they put together. So their system is combining. The prairie dog communication is also referential in a way. That is, they are referring or talking about the predators. And finally, we know that prairie dogs can talk about how things are. So not just saying human, but they can say, oh, human with a gun or human without a gun, because this is important to them. So they can talk about some property of the thing they're talking about. So that system is also predicative. And I'm sure you can already tell that human language can be all of the above. It can be grading, combining, it can be referential, predicative, and expressive. So the question there is, what is the difference? Maybe animals could learn to speak. And this is what you're going to hear about in the next lecture. Thank you.